You Are My Sunshine by Rob Smit. On July 18, 2036 at 7:04 p.m., the SpaceX convoy entered Earth's atmosphere towing the massive metal length behind them. Heat glowed off the undersurface of the object as they skimmed low into the stratosphere, running parallel to the surface of the Earth. From the ground, its re-entry was obvious and ominous, a blazing line of fire and flaming metal screeching along the sky. Airplanes were forced to veer from its flight path. Small satellites blundered into its way and, like land crabs crossing a busy highway, were smashed to bits under it. At 7:04 p.m., the man-made comet entered a predetermined orbital angle using correctional firings of its lateral engines, moderating its forward speed to intercept a carefully calibrated cross-angle of trajectory. At the apex of the arc of intersection, the order was given to the SpaceX tow shuttles to release the mooring cables when their load hung directly above a calculated target spot in the atmosphere. Material density, travel speed, wind speed, atmospheric heating, historical precipitation trend and patterns, all were calculations used to determine the optimal area for the dropping of the needle. It was calculated to land within the earthen cradle of the bore hole, which tapered to thinness the deeper it went, so in theory this brake ramp design would bring the plummeting needle to a stop. The soft earth and expandable foam mixture at the bottom of the borehole would also cushion the impact of a high-velocity re-entry. The area where the needle would come to rest had been painstakingly predetermined to the inch. Everything seemed to be in order, and hundreds of pairs of eyes were watching, looking for errors and eventualities. All seemed to be going according to plan, as the solid length of steel fell to Earth on a calculated trajectory, a thunderbolt from Olympus. This might be an odd time to mention it, but did you know that Canadian hip-hop artist Maestro Fresh Wes wrote a song called Drop the Needle, and it was the #1 release from his 1989 feature-length LP Symphony in Effect? 1989. Seems like such a long time ago. The needle dropped. It missed the sinkhole completely. Instead, it inexplicably drifted a full 2 miles off target and penetrated the Earth's crust directly through the center of the town of Winner. The impact shock wave blasted the surrounding ground to shards, trees to splinters. Damage was total, catastrophic, with 0 survivors. July 18, 2036, at 7:05 p.m. Emergency crews from the nearby city of Fort Pierre had been on standby 10 miles away. In the event that things went wrong in Winter, they were to be immediately deployed to evaluate the situation and evacuate victims to locate survivors. Their efforts, though noble, were in vain. The impact of the needle falling 20 miles from space pulverized Winter and created a physical shockwave that steamrolled over the landscape like a hammer blow from God. Most of the convoy participants had been instantly crushed inside their red and white tin cans. One small stubborn ambulance survived, inexplicably, and although the glass was blown out and the sides were bent inwards, the vehicle was drivable. One person remained alive inside the vehicle, paramedic Mae Jennings, a mother of 2 who volunteered in fundraising efforts for her children's school and was often described as plucky, had survived the shockwave but was severely affected. Blood leaked from her eyes and ears, nose and mouth. Hands shaking, head swimming in shock, she pulled herself up off the ambulance floor and crawled back into the driver's seat of the vehicle. She peered back into the cabin briefly and saw the twisted flesh her teammates had become and fought back tears. Several miles away, she could make out a winding smoke column rising from the vicinity of Winter. "I gotta save them," she whispered through gritted teeth. "That's what we're here for." The only surviving member of her ambulance team, Mae Jennings, dashed south down Highway 183, sirens wailing and lights flashing, a wheeled angel of mercy. She turned east at the crossroads at Jordan Junction and drove immediately into the deepest, thickest part of a cloud of wreckage and particulate, not seen since the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Visibility was absolute zero, and the CB radios frizzled and whined without signals. GPS systems were inoperable. With no glass windshield to keep the debris out, she instantly choked and grabbed a respirator off the equipment rack. She squinted her teary eyes, which were already filled with stinging dust. The road was demolished. Just a cracked network of spider-webbed concrete slivers with rocky outcrops bursting through the blacktop. Gaping fissures were everywhere, and a foul sulfur reek leaked out. Attempting to navigate the road was futile, and it ripped the ambulance apart from below. Metal spanged and broke off as it drove. Shrouded in complete darkness, battered by a whirlwind of shrapnel, flame, and burned chunks of humanity, plucky Mae Jennings, mother of two, and head of her school fundraising squad, drove the emergency vehicle in slow circles until she got hung up on wreckage, dithered, reversed, blundered into a gaping sinkhole, and then slid backwards down a broken concrete chasm. The ambulance plummeted, red lights flashing and siren wailing, into a bottomless crevasse opened up by the horrifying arrival of the president's mighty needle. A week later, the dust had settled, and the gleaming steel spire stood erect, menacing the horizon. The needle had landed. Gulf Force One was passing over the Midwest on its way back to Washington. The Trillionaire President of the free world was standing on the observation deck. More accurately, he was peeing over the side rail, as they flew over the spot where Winter once was. He looked down at the ground miles below and said to the guys in his security detail, "Hey, look it! Someone put a big steel thing in the ground." Helicopters circled and buzzed around the otherworldly spire, taking photos, estimating measurements, and sending news reports. The results were not news-friendly. The shock wave and impact had radiated out in all directions, killing all life within 10 miles, crippling all life within 20 miles, and deafening everything with ears within 50 miles out. The underground tremor of the impact was monumental and rattled windows as far south as Texas, as far west as Oregon, and as far east as Tennessee. Even Canadians fell off their hockey skates. The impact was definitely felt in Washington when visual footage was leaked to the nightly news channels showing sad images of the shattered town. Normally placid supporters of the president came out with angry chants and placards and filled the public spaces. Bumper stickers and t-shirts quickly appeared on Washington street corners. What happened in winter? No answers came from the White House at first. And then this. International news item. Celebrations for Winter, South Dakota. The glorious needle, a monument to American progress, now stands embedded in the fertile soil of Winter, South Dakota. Our president extends his congratulations to the lucky citizens who live there, and he encourages all proud Americans to visit the site to enjoy the multi-mile majesty of the needle, which is so tall it can be seen from space. In addition, he would like to thank all